Welcome back to Betty Boop. Today we're reading Chapter 4. Where are you, Chapter 4? There you are. The Queer Little Dwarfs. When Snow White got home, however, she and Bimbo learned that the king had been delayed and could not yet return from the wars. The queen at first was going to give her stepdaughter a sound beating, but Bimbo bared his teeth and growled at her so dreadfully that she decided that she would have to be careful what she did. It was winter by this time, and freezing hard snow lay deep on hill and valley. On the day when the queen made a frock out of paper, called Snow White and said, "Here, put on this frock, go out into the wood and fetch me a basket of strawberries. I have a great wish for some."
"Oh dear,"
said the girl.
"There are no strawberries to be found in winter. The ground is frozen, and the snow covers everything. And why should I go in the paper dress? It is so cold out of doors that one's breath is frozen. The wind will blow through this thin dress, and the thorns will tear it off my back."
"How dare you contradict me?" cried the stepmother, who supposed that she had thought up a very clever idea for getting rid of the girl she hated. "Be off and don't let me see you again until you bring me a basket of strawberries." Then she gave Snow White a little piece of hard bread and said, "That will do you to eat during the day." To herself she thought, "She is sure to be frozen or starved out of doors, and I shall never set eyes on her again." So, the girl, with Bimbo at her heels, started out obediently, wearing the paper frock and carrying the basket. Snow was lying everywhere, far and wide, and there was not a blade of grass to be seen. When she entered the wood, she saw a little house with 3 little men peeping out of it. She wished them good day and knocked modestly at the door. They called her in, and she came into the room and sat down by the side of the oven to warm herself and eat her breakfast. The little men said, "Give us some of your food." "Willingly," answered she, breaking her little piece of bread in two and giving them half. They then said, "What are you doing here in the wood this winter time in your little thin frock?" "Oh," answered she, "I have to get a basket of strawberries, and I must not go home without them." When she had eaten her bread, they gave her a broom and told her to go and sweep the snow away from the back door. When she had gone outside to do it, the little men talked among themselves about what they should do for her, as she was so good and beautiful and had shared her bread with them. Then the first one said, "She shall grow prettier every day." The second said, "Each time she speaks, a piece of gold shall fall from her lips." The third said, "A king shall come and take her for his wife." In the meantime, Snow White was doing as the little men had told her, and had cleared the snow from the back of the little house. And what do you suppose she found? Fine, ripe strawberries showing dark red against the snow. Then she joyfully filled her basket, thanked the little men, shook hands with them all, and ran home in haste, with Bimbo barking and leaping around her. As she went into the palace, she said,
"Good evening,"
to the watchman, and a piece of gold fell from her mouth at once. Then she told her stepmother all that had happened to her in the wood, and at each word that she spoke, gold pieces fell out of her mouth, so that soon they were scattered all over the room.
"Just look at her pride and conceit,"
cried the stepsister.
"Throwing money about in this way."
But in her heart, she was jealous of it and wanted to go into the wood to fetch strawberries. But the mother said,
"No, my dear little daughter, it's too cold. You will be frozen to death."
And that's the end of chapter 4. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you'll come back for chapter 5. The stepsister and the dwarfs. That should be interesting. We'll see you next time.